body and soul and stick it in some other theory you have. But you can't undo what the experiments and observations have shown. And that is an explainer for you.
There you go. Wow, that is good. Take that, Big Bang deniers. Take that.
All right, Chuck, we got to take a break, but when we come back, more things you thought you knew on Star Talk. There's a feature of the James Webb Space Telescope that I haven't seen talked about much. People only just think of it as some next big telescope that's out there in space, bringing us badass images. But there's certain engineering scientific features that are unique with it that I think are worth calling out.
Okay.
Okay.
That sounds good.
All right, if you can hang with me on this, all right. Allow me to remind us that unlike Hubble, which orbited Earth 360 miles up, this thing is parked 1,000,000 miles away in the opposite direction of the sun from the Earth.
It's pretty wild.
Okay, yeah, and so I say parked, it and the Earth are orbiting the sun together. And so basically, if you look back in the Earth direction, the sun will always be there.
So it's using the Earth as sunblock.
Well, it has some motion where it is, okay, but it's not going to drift away from that location, even though there's some movement within the location. The point is, occasionally Earth will block the sun,
right.
But the value of this is you always know which way the sun is,
right,
at all times, okay?
Right.
It's behind you, okay?
Right.
All right? I'm looking out to space.
The only way to take good pictures. You know what they say? Like,
good one, yeah, it's true.
Hit the
That's
sun
right.
behind you.
That's right, that's right. So that everyone is squinting as they look in the camera.
Exactly, right.
So if you're going to take a picture of something that's dim, you either have to illuminate it yourself, which we really can't do for the early universe, that doesn't work, or you can take a long exposure to allow the light to accumulate. But while you're taking that long exposure, you can't jiggle the camera. It has to be perfectly stationary. So Chuck, just to repeat, we can't take a flash picture of the outer universe. So we have to open the exposure for a long time. Okay, so now watch. Different bands of the electromagnetic spectrum tell us different things about the universe. All right, so if you're going to do that, you need telescopes that specialize in the chosen band. And by the way, we didn't even know light came in bands other than visible light. And somebody had to discover that. I mean, just think about it. Why would you have any inkling? Why would you believe at all that there was a kind of light out there that your eyes could not detect?
Right.
Especially if you're religious, right? If you're religious, what? God made humans and we have eyeballs to see light. And how could there possibly be something we can't see, all right? So there's certain expectations of who and what we are as a life form that were completely overrun the day infrared light was discovered. Okay? And did I tell you how we discovered infrared? Did I tell you?
But
it was William Herschel discovered it.
Okay. Never mind. Tell the story.
Okay, no, real quick.
I was thinking of something else. I'm like, okay. Wait a minute.
So William Herschel discovered it, and how did he do it? He knew that Isaac Newton figured out that white light is composed of colors. You just pass it through a prism and it breaks it apart. So he repeated this experiment. You put a little slit of light in your room, but the whole room has to be dark so that only the spectrum shows up. All right, and you pass it through a triangle prism. You get a rainbow on your table, and there it is, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. And he had the foresight to ask the question, I wonder if the different colors of light have different temperatures.
Yeah, well,
just to even ask that question. I mean, just
pretty impressive question.
Think about that. It's a simple question, maybe retrospectively obvious, but at the time, okay, so what does he do? He has a thermometer and puts it in each of the different colors of light. But wait a minute, you need a control thermometer. So he took his control thermometer, put it off to the side, just to the side of the red. Okay, so that was not in the spectrum. All right, and that would presumably just measure room temperature. All right, but it was still on the table where he was measuring the rest of the temperatures. Your control has to have a minimum of variation other than the one thing you want to change. Okay, so the thermometer is on the table, but just off to the side. And so there he is, he's measuring the temperature of blue and red and yellow, and what he's finding. And you find out that things that have kind of any temperature at all will radiate in the infrared. Okay? Now, so for example, if you have an electric stove and you put it on low and turn out all the lights, can you see it? No, not if it's on low. You put your hand on it, you'll burn your hand. Okay? So something's
about it.
Something is coming out of the stove, and it's not unfit for vision, right? It's infrared light. Okay. And when the thing gets hot enough, it's not only giving off infrared, it'll begin to also give off visible light.
Right.
Okay? But if the thing is cool enough, it's primarily only going to be giving you infrared. Suppose you want to see infrared. All right? And by the way, infrared doesn't make it very nicely through Earth's atmosphere. You know how you know this? Because we have greenhouse gases that trap the infrared that is down here. Okay? Right. So the greenhouse effect are molecules that have a special relationship with infrared. And there's the ground trying to radiate infrared back into space. It said, no, you don't. And it sends it back down and accumulates. Okay. So here's the cool thing about the James Webb Telescope. It has a special reflective surface on its mirrors that are tuned to reflect infrared with very high efficiency. That's number one. Reflect and focus. Number two, if you're trying to detect something that is a very low temperature, what happens if you have a temperature and you're the detector? You end up detecting yourself.
Exactly.
Can't have that.
I
So
went
what you
searching
wanted...
for the universe, and all I found was me.
So you need a way to cool the telescope. So we could send up cryogenic liquids and things, but they would eventually evaporate or gain temperature. And so what we figured out to do, not I, the engineers who were tasked with this, that telescope has a series of thermal baffles between it and the sun. All right, and so those, just take a look at any photo of the full telescope deployed. They're basically screened. They're like sheets that are put up, a series of them in the row. So sunlight comes and hits one of them, it reflects some back, others get absorbed and gets retransmitted to the next sheet, but that gets resent back. There's this multiple, triple reflections, and at each layer, the amount of heat from the sun is dramatically dropped. Okay? Dramatic. By the time it comes out the other side, it's barely there at all. And so the temperature of the telescope can now drop to what is basically the temperature of deep space without any influence of sunlight increasing its body temperature, if you will.
That's wild.
It's totally wild. So now the James Webb Space Telescope can observe deep in the infrared part of the spectrum because it can. And so there you have it.
That
a little primer on infrared and infrared telescopes and how that works.
Well, there you go, people. I hope you were paying attention because you're going to be at a cocktail party where this is going to come in very, very handy. I plan on using it this weekend. I'm telling you right now.
What's that skirt for on the outer edge of the telescope?
There you go. I suppose you didn't realize that there were baffles that filter the sunlight in such a way that cools the telescope so that we're able to register the infrared without registering the heat from the telescope itself. Yes, this is the kind of stuff you learn when you're an extremely smart individual. By the way, off with you. Okay.
That's why you don't have any friends left at your party. Hi, Chuck, we've got to take a quick break, but when we come back, more things you thought you knew on Star Talk.
Running hurts. Tai Chi heals. especially after 50.
3 reasons to start Tai Chi workout this summer. In 1 week, you'll see your energy. In 2 weeks, you'll feel your breath. In 3 weeks, you'll have energy and your wife won't believe your results. Here is the personalized plan of short Tai Chi workouts tailored for beginners over 50. It takes just 7 minutes per day, beginner friendly, and requires no equipment. You can work out anytime, anywhere. Just open the app and follow along.
So you might have heard intermittently, every now and then, that Earth's poles will flip. Have you ever heard? You've heard that, right?
I've heard people say it.
Say it. Well, thank you for clarifying that, right? And clarifying that it's not what is true, it's what people say or think is true. These are not always the same thing. So it was especially bandied about when we were approaching not only the year 2000, but also the year 2012. But every 10 years, people band together and want to declare that the world is about to end based on some cosmic force. I'm intrigued. I think that people need followers. If you're the one saying the world's going to end and no one else is, people will think you have special knowledge, and then you become sort of this guru of prognostication. So let me just make it clear that Earth's rotation axis with Santa Claus at the top is not flipping. That is a completely stable configuration. We bob up and down a little bit, okay? And so on our spinning axis, we not only precess, which is a fancy word for wobble. Okay, we wobble. If you ever played with a top, as the top slows down, you see it wobble. But also we bob up and down. Okay, and they all happen on very different time scales. But none of them involve a flipping of Earth's axis, and north and south. However, what does flip are the magnetic poles. The magnetic poles. Now, let me just nip something in the bud here, okay, just so you know. You're old enough to have probably used a compass in your life when you were a kid, all right? Okay, which way does the compass always point?
North is what they say.
Okay, so that's correct. And it points to the North Magnetic Pole, all right?
Right.
Which, by the way, does not exactly align with Santa Claus, all right?
Okay.
By the way, there's things in the universe where it's almost at 90 degrees to each other. So there's nothing specially, it's no cosmic pre-requirement that they perfectly align in the spinning object, all right? So in our case, they don't align. The North Pole is sitting somewhere in northern Canada, all right? So if you're trying to find Santa Claus with a compass and you're in northern Canada, you're gonna land in the wrong spot.
Oh, wow, okay.
Just to be clear about that.
No wonder we can't find them.
It's why you didn't get your presents. You didn't get your presents this year.
That's why he's so good. Yeah.
You didn't get your pony.
Yeah, exactly. I can't find this. You gonna pay what you owe, Santa.
So it'll find the North Magnetic Pole. All right. So that thing that's pointing there is the North Pole of the compass needle. The compass needle is itself a magnet with a north and a south pole. Now here's a little known fact, okay? What can you tell me about north and south poles of a magnet? Take two magnets together, what do they do?
Well, they repel each other if it's the same pole.
Which repels? Which repel?
So north to north and south to south.
They each repel each other,
They repel
correct?
each other, right, yeah.
Like charges repel.
Right.
So wait a minute. If the needle of a compass that says north on it points to the North Pole, shouldn't it be pointing in the opposite direction?
Right. It should be repelled and pointing down.
Okay, except it's not. It's attracted, which tells you that Earth's south magnetic pole is in the north. Because the north part of all magnets point in that direction.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know if you knew that.
No.
Okay.
Here's the thing. What you did was you took the empirical and put it first.
Yes.
And then you said the ridiculous thing afterwards. So now, what am I left to do? I'm like, well, he already proved it. So what am I going to do? Like,
yeah, it's pre-approved.
it's
Pre-approved
it's
science.
I can't say like, yeah, right, whatever, you know.
Yeah, no, because you
No,
already
it's like,
were with me on it.
exactly.
You
I was
helped
like,
me
yes, absolutely right. So
demonstrate this. And they don't tell you that in the Boy Scouts.
No, they don't.
That the Earth's south magnetic pole is in the north, which is why all north poles of magnets point there.
Sorry, little Tommy, but you're screwed.
No,
Your compass is
your
lying
entire
to you.
concept of reality is off
Right. It's,
by 180 degrees. All right, so here's what happens. We have a magnetic field because our core is fluid. All right, all the heavy stuff when Earth was molten, the heavy stuff fell to the middle, and the heavy stuff is the iron, and the light stuff, which is the rocks, floated to the top. Okay, and we don't think of rocks as light, but it's much lighter than metal. All right, and so all the metals, nearly all the metals went to the core. Some got frozen in place, as you have these ores, these veins of ores. As Earth is solidifying, it didn't fall down fast enough, and it got frozen in place. There are other occasions where volcanoes can redistribute material from below and put it up in the crust. But basically, most of Earth's iron is in our core. And it's hot. And so the iron is molten. And when you have molten and you're spinning, you have moving, magnetically chargeable metals. Okay? Iron is magnetizable. When you have moving metal, you create what's called a dynamo. And in a dynamo, you basically create a magnetic field from scratch.
Wow.
That's why old, dead planets that have cooled do not have magnetic fields.
Right.
Okay?
Wow.
They don't have magnetic fields. Like Mars, no magnetic field to speak of. Okay? Because it's cooled faster than Earth did. It's smaller, so if you're smaller, you will cool faster. And so, no, you don't have this churning. By the way, Mars once did, for sure. Mars has the largest known volcano in the solar system. Okay? So Mars used to be hot on the inside, but that's called Olympus Mons. All right? It makes our volcanoes look like molehills, by the way. It's huge. It's huge. So, anyhow, the point I'm getting at here is the dynamo goes through cycles.
Okay.
And it goes stronger, then it goes weaker, and it flips.
Gotcha.
And so every 500,000 years or so, the magnetic field of Earth has flipped. Period.
Okay. That's pretty wild.
Okay? Yeah, it's fascinating. And while it's flipping, it actually goes to zero and then recovers coming out the other side.
Okay, so then that makes me ask, what does the magnetic field of Earth do for Earth and do for us?
Other than give compasses a meaning in life.
Yeah. Other than confuse Boy Scouts who don't understand that the compass should be pointing in the opposite direction.
Well, Einstein was quite intrigued by a compass, that some mysterious force that you can't see, touch, smell, or taste is forcing the needle to move. Right. He was very intrigued by that as a child. So I think we'd be thankful that we had compasses back. If it was just GPS with a handheld device finding north, I think maybe Einstein would not, he might have gone on to play basketball or something. Who knows?
Wow.
Who knows what career he might have had. So actually that's the opposite of a Gary Larson comic. That's where I got that idea from. There's a picture of Einstein on a basketball court, and he's like dribbling, right? And it said Albert Einstein in school was destined to be all-star basketball player until an ankle injury sent him into his physics books.
That's funny.
So the point is that the magnetic field has flipped. And what the magnetic field does when it's operating is it creates a magnetic shield around Earth, if you will. And when charged particles come from the sun, the solar wind, we call it, they see this magnetic field and they spiral down towards the poles. Or towards the magnetic poles. And as they spiral down, they careen into air molecules. And if you have two molecules that collide with each other, energy gets exchanged. Okay, so your energy of motion gets boosted into the energy inside the molecule itself. So you've excited the molecule. Then on its own timetable, like fractions of a second, it de-excites and then radiates visible light. So wait a minute, what is that? Oh, I know what that is. That's the aurora.
That's pretty wild.
The aurora borealis, that's in the north. And take a gander what it's called in the south.
Let me see. The southern aurora borealis.
Okay, thank you, Chuck. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
No, it's the aurora australis.
The aurora australis.
Australis, right?
Okay.
Because it's symmetric, right?
Yeah,
We have a North
right.
Pole and a South Pole.
South Pole.
So we make a big deal of our own aurora because 90% of the human population of the world lives north of the equator.
Right.
So we get aurora. So there it is. And we know the field is flipped. You know why? Because you can see volcanic plains where iron came out, and the iron aligned with the magnetic field when it froze in place. And you compare this from different generations of volcanic eruptions, and you can see the flipping of the orientation of the iron particles.
That is
It's remarkable.
That is really outstanding. That's pretty wild because it's a magnet. So it's metal in a magnet, and it's actually
it's doing its thing.
Succumbing to the properties of magnetism.
Correct. And if Earth is helping that out, it's going to align them when it freezes out of the volcanic flow. So yeah, no, it's pretty cool stuff, and it all comes together. And by the way, this involved like astrophysicists and geologists, and there's a worry if we don't have a magnetic field. That means the charged particles come straight into us and don't get directed to the poles. Would that be bad for life on Earth? So it might be, you might think it would be, but there are no particularly striking extinction episodes.
Right.
At the times when these
when it flips
magnetic
and it
fields
goes
are
to
flipped.
zero.
Yeah, there's no, by the way, animals are going extinct all the time, especially now because humans have their hand in this process. We're told it's the sixth extinction, really.
Wow.
All right. So yeah, that's in case you didn't know that your compass points south.
That's great.
All right. This has been Star Talk. Things you thought you knew. Neil deGrasse Tyson, keep looking up.
I had done a paper on the gravitational field of a tachyon. This is a hypothetical particle that would go faster than light.
What's the latest on the Fermi paradox? There's plenty of time for a civilization to rise up, send out a mission to multiple planets, pitch tent, use local resources to build more rockets, and go to 2 planets for a 16.
Astronomers love the Copernican principle. It says your location is not likely to be special. We live around an ordinary star, in an ordinary galaxy, in an ordinary supercluster. You should ask yourself, why am I not a space colonist?
This is Star Talk. Neil deGrasse Tyson here, your personal astrophysicist, and today we are featuring my exclusive one-on-one conversation with my longtime friend and colleague, fellow astrophysicist, J. Richard Gott III. Very deep thinker on all manner of subjects under the sun and moon and stars. Rich Gott.
Hi, Neil. I think that's about the best compliment I ever got.
That's the best compliment. Rich Gott, you're a close friend. You're probably my closest colleague friend that I have.
Oh,
we've spent a lot of time together in conversation with family, and we probably met earlier, but we didn't become close friends until Princeton University. I did my postdoc there many moons ago, and you spent almost your whole life on the faculty.